Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Let's Talk Jets Radio. It is draft night, and we also have Knicks playoff basketball, so I'll probably be going back and forth a little bit. Glad to be back on tonight, talking some football. It's been a minute, so we'll say what's up to the chat before we get into some draft predictions. Yes, we are back. Let's freaking go. Angel, what's going on? The Oracle, Explosive Diarrhea. I always love seeing you pop up. What are some thoughts on Rome Odunze? That should be interesting tonight. Do the Jets go weapon? Do they go O-line? Do they trade up? Do they trade back? I think at this point we've all seen 1,000 mocks that have every which scenario playing out. I'm personally hoping for the weapon. I think it's probably going to happen at pick 10. I think it's more likely they go backwards than they do trade up. What's going on? Of course, random man Jake Moody, kicker. That is not happening. Don't even put that into the environment. Bubs, what's going on? How you doing? Darren, can't go wrong with a punter from Australia. Actually, the Jets did go wrong with a punter from Australia. I believe it was, 06 or 07 when Ben Graham was the Jets punter. I was a senior in high school. Good times there. Please let it be Marvin Harrison or Malik Neighbors. Harrison would be interesting. He's probably the only receiver that I would trade up for. Neighbors, I love. But I think there is still a drop-off there. I think there's a drop-off between both of them and Odunze. So that's going to be interesting. Draft is here. Michael, how you been? This is the draft where I want Joe Douglas to trade up and get aggressive. Don't be comfortable and stay where you are. Go get that playmaker. Problem is, what is the cost going to be to move up, and who are you going to get? Are you getting Malik Neighbors, or are you getting Marvin Harrison? And how much are you willing to give up as far as future assets? Because you don't have a second-round pick, which I think is going to kind of impact their ability to move up. And you have a lot of teams that are looking to move up for quarterbacks as well. So interesting to see how that plays out. How do you feel about the rumor that the Jets are looking to trade up? Again, it depends what you're giving up. I mean, you're in a win now mindset, so I'm all about it. I'm definitely about it for Marvin Harrison, less so for Neighbors or Odunze, only because I do like the receivers in round two. I feel like if you're going to go weapon, it should be Bowers. Obviously, you're not trading up for him. Or if you're trading up, possibly Joe Alt. Go get the best offensive lineman available. But I kind of feel like you can solve wide receiver in round two and in free agency as well. Like Tyler Boyd's still out there, Beckham and a few other guys. So I feel like that could be the route they go with for some insurance behind Mike Williams. But it will be interesting. No Tyson. I know he'll be on, I think, Monday with Green Bean. He might pop on at some point tonight. Welcome back. Good to be back. Salute to the chat as well. This should be a fun one tonight. I'll go as long as I can make it tonight beyond the Jets draft pick. I'll definitely post the link after the pick is made. So if anybody wants to come on and just give their reactions, we could definitely bring some people on there. Welcome back. Shout out to Brian. Appreciate the super chat. Glad to be back. It has been way too long. That is my bad. A lot of shit going on. Looking not fresh at all. I haven't had a haircut in like 4 weeks. Beard's all scraggly. Far from fresh right now, but I appreciate that. Unless you're talking about the jersey, which shout out to David. This was the jersey that he gave me on opening night. Hopefully this isn't a bad luck jersey because it's the night that obviously Rodgers got hurt. This is our super. Yeah, baby. Thank you, Austin Powers. I hope so, man. I don't even want to think that far ahead. Like my thought process right now is just go get a playmaker, make your team better. Like we have plenty of time to debate Super Bowl and put all those expectations on this team. I don't think it would be as expensive as we think. Well, you got 3 teams behind the Jets that are probably trying to move up for a quarterback. So I think that's obviously going to drive up the price, but I don't know. I listen, I'm totally for it because, again, you should have that win now mindset. So if you could get Marvin Harrison, yes. Neighbors, I do think there's a little drop off, but he's going to be a stud. But it's also, again, what are you doing in round 3 to offset some of your other needs? Like, do you trust that you can get an offensive lineman there? You're not going to get somebody the caliber of Bowers there. So, where are you going in round 3? And I also feel like it's probably easier to move up from round 3 into round 2 than it would probably be to move up from 10 to the top 5. See if the Jets draft Bowers, if he's there when they pick. I think he will be there at 10. I'm just curious if you have Bowers and let's say Fashanu's still there, Fatanu, and maybe even Fuaga is still there. A lot of rumors about Latham going top 10 now. If you have 3 offensive linemen that you like plus Bowers, and let's say maybe all 3 receivers are gone, that might be a scenario where Douglas does look to trade back, even if only to 12 or 13, where he can feel comfortable that he's going to get at least one of those offensive linemen or Bowers. I don't think he would move back into the late teens or the 20s, though. I don't think that would happen. I got to get a new towel blanket with the new. That's an excellent comment. I do have to do that. I promise before the season starts, I will have a new towel blanket with the old school logo with this one. Prepare yourself for another edge rusher. I have not watched any tape at all on any of these edge rushers, so that better not happen. That's actually why we were all so shocked about Will McDonald last year. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I didn't watch any edge rusher tape. Tyrone's been doing pretty well. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. Definitely need to get the whole group back together for a stream at some point. What's going on, Brandon? How you been? Did you hear the rumor trading our first rounder this year, maybe a pick next year for AJ Brown? I did not hear that at all. Well, I've been busy most of the day. I've seen a bunch of rumors floating around as far as teams that are looking to move up, move down. You don't know how much of it is smokescreen and how much of it is legit. So I don't really pay too much attention to all the stuff being floated out around there. Going to be a great night for the Jets and the Knicks. I hope so. I probably should put the Knicks game on until the draft gets started. We got the Knicks up 2-0. We got the Rangers up 2-0. I don't know if there's ever been a time where I cared less about baseball. So good vibes around Madison Square Garden. Hopefully the Jets could also get some stuff going. That ending was friggin' wild the other night. Got flashbacks to Reggie Miller, but like the opposite feeling when I was a kid. All right, so the Knicks are probably a couple minutes away from tip-off, so I guess we'll watch the first quarter of the Knicks, and then we should be ready for the draft right after that. Jets drafted a quarterback. I could see a quarterback in like round 4 or 5. Jordan Travis, that's my dude. I don't know if he would still be there, but I'd be all about that. I think we trading back. I'm okay with it. Would love to get back into the second round somehow. I think that's your best bet to solve your need for a wide receiver, and then you could go O-line or Bowers in round 1. It's kind of the route I'd like to see them go. Would you like a linebacker at some point in the draft to learn under Mosley and potentially be able to fill that void once he wants to step away? Say Edgerrin Cooper around 3. I don't think I would go with any defensive players on the first 2 days. If you want to get a depth linebacker, like later on day 3, I'd be okay with it. But you also have Zaire Barnes coming back. He was pretty impressive in training camp last year. I forget the other guy that they had also, depth guy, speed guy, Chaz Surratt. So you have 2 guys there that you can kind of mold. And Sherwood also, he played pretty well. Love the jersey. Yep, thank you to David. Appreciate it. This is actually Joe Namath. One that can never go bad. So smart move by David there. What's up, Clancy? Been a minute since I've talked to you. Pratt over Travis. Yeah, I saw your comment on the last video. I got to stay loyal to FSU, though. I know Travis is coming back from injury, but dude was an absolute beast when he was out there last year. So I would love to see him sit for 2 years behind Rodgers. I seriously do think the Jets are making a trade tonight. I don't know if it will be a trade up or a trade down, but I don't see them picking at 10. All depends who's there and who's not there. If they have a group of 3 or 4 players that they're comfortable with, I could see a trade back. I don't think Joe Douglas is going to give up what's necessary to get into, the top 5 or 6. Maybe they would move up to 8, but even at that point, do you want to give up extra assets to go get a receiver if you could do that later in the draft? I don't know. They obviously need a weapon. So as long as they walk away with something on the offensive side of the ball, I don't think anybody can really complain tonight, but we will see. I'm sure there's always going to be somebody. What made you an FSU fan? I live 3 hours from Tallahassee. Honestly, as a kid, I love their jerseys. They were one of the better teams when I was growing up. I remember the championship against Florida. I woke up the next morning. I was devastated when they lost, but I know they got, I think, at least one championship during my childhood. So one of the few teams that was actually successful. But more than anything, it was just the jerseys. And also, I always used to go visit my grandma in Florida as well. So it was nice to have a team that was out there that I could root for every year. Do you believe Becton will find another home? At this point, if you don't end up going offensive line in round 1, I think you have to look at Becton, obviously Bakhtiari, who's been talked about. I think Donovan Smith is still out there. Andrews Pete. You have a number of guys that have some starting experience that you can bring in. So If it's not Becton, I think it would still be somebody that you bring in for depth. I feel like they draft a defensive guy in day 2. I hope not. And I would say probably safety is a bigger need than a linebacker. And you might even want to get another edge rusher too. I mean, you're losing Lawson and Huff. I know we got Reddick, but you never have enough pass rushers. It's taking the Nick game so long. Thought it was a 7:40 start. Or am I wrong on that? Ready for the Jets to pick the best cornerback in the draft? Absolutely not. There better not be a defensive player on the board tonight. I will lose my shit. No matter who the Jets take, half the fan base will be happy, half the fan base will be mad. That's just how it works. I don't know about that tonight. I think as long as the Jets get somebody on offense, I think a lot of fans will realize, like, I'll be a little disappointed for like 5 seconds if we don't get Bowers. But if we get an offensive lineman that gives us some depth behind Tyron Smith and Moses, like, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just all about, like, what's going to give the Jets the best chance to win in 2024. And it obviously, in a perfect world, your starting 5 are going to be out there all year. But an offensive lineman obviously gives you depth this year, prepares you for next year in the future, of course, if you hit on the pick. So the question is, do you go for somebody that, like Olu, who's just going to play left tackle, or do you go more somebody that's a little versatile, like Fashanu, who can play guard and tackle? Like, that's another argument that you got to kind of sort through. Trade the 10th pick for Devontae. That's what I thought was probably going to happen like a few months ago. I would do it personally, but I'm sure most people would just rather have the rookie contract in a Dunze or something like that. Miss you and Tyson streaming together. You guys should pick a night to do weekly shows. We'll get back into it at some point. Trust me on that. We'll be back at it. Got a green Garrett jersey on the way. Very nice. I'm definitely going to get somebody in green. I'm proud to say I did stay away from the Zach Wilson jersey. Almost every quarterback over the last, I don't know how many years, from Geno to Sanchez, Pennington, Packenberg, like, I've had almost every single quarterback jersey, Darnold, obviously, and I'm glad to say that I saved my money and I stayed away from Zach. So can't blame me for the jinx on him. Williams bust. Daniels great. May meh. Penix good. Nick's ass. I think Williams is going to be okay. I think Daniels is going to be good after a year or two. May is actually one of my favorite quarterbacks. He might be my top quarterback in this draft. And I'll be pretty pissed if the Patriots get him. But it's starting to look more and more likely like that could happen. Any chance the Jets take Afram, the 10th pick? That is interesting. I've not talked to Afram in a while. I wonder how he's doing. If he's been working out, it's definitely a possibility. You never know. I have my Tebow Jets t-shirt on for good luck. How's that going to bring good luck? Tebow. Ugh. Trey Hendrickson, I saw that. He requested a trade from the Bengals. So they got him and T. Higgins possibly with some issues there. Shouldn't you be draft man tonight? Absolutely. Random Man's got to change up his name right now. Tyson might be teaching right now. But yeah, he's gonna be on with Green Bean, I think, on Monday night. He's been doing shows with different streamers over the past few weeks, so I know he enjoys that. What you think about Knoble at 10? Who? I don't know who that is. Probably been too busy hanging out with Green Bean. How many games does Tyron actually play this year? I mean, he's played 13 in almost every year, at least 13. But I don't think he's played more than that, right? Every year over the past 8 or 9, I think he's missed time at some point. So, I mean, as long as you can get 12 or 13 games and then obviously have him healthy for the playoffs, that's, I think, the most important thing. The draft will be live at 8 o'clock. I will post the link after the pick is made, and then if anybody wants to hop on and just like share a quick reaction, like 2-3 minute phone calls, we could do that. I'll just kind of run through as many as we can. Everybody can get their reactions on. The green 57 is dope. I'm wearing my Jets Eric Decker jersey. That's a good one to have. I did have a Hackenberg jersey. Proudly, very proudly. Absolutely. I wore that very proudly, only because the fan base shit on him right when he was drafted. And justifiably so, I guess. Bad pick, but I always try, at least early on. Like, I wasn't a fan of Zach. I supported the kid early on. Like, I feel like that's the right thing to do. So, I don't know. Trade the 10th pick for Higgins and Hendrickson. That would be interesting. I don't think the Jets would have the cap to be able to pull that off, but that's an interesting scenario there. PT, we need you on those shows too. You add good perspective. Oh, thank you, Oscar. I'm no celebrity. I'm not. I'm not on that caliber. I'm not breaking down film or anything like that. Those guys are on another level than me. My prediction is Williams doesn't do well. He has the talent, but his ego is going to destroy him. I mean, he's obviously got the talent. I think the kid has special ability, but yeah, like what is it between the ears? How long is the learning curve? I think he's going to be in a good scenario with Chicago, though. I mean, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and then that ninth pick, if they get a Dunze or somebody like that, going to have a lot of talent to work with. Wide receiver or O line, and I will be pleased. So, would you not be happy if they got Bowers, even though he's essentially a wide receiver? Yeah, somebody's got to fill me in on the joke with Knoble. I don't understand it. I don't watch much Jets content out there. Is Brandon Ayuk really getting traded tonight? I don't think he's going anywhere. Where's the other dude? I'm not participating in a watch along if it's just me. All right, well, you know, I'm still enjoying the draft. I'm enjoying the Knicks right now, actually getting off to a good start. So, but yeah, it is just me for now. I will bring people on after the pick is made. Right now, it is just me hanging out. If you want to just crack a beer, enjoy the draft, feel free to do so. Send me one of your old jerseys you don't wear, and I'll rep the Jets down under. Nobody will know who the player is, so it'll be fine to wear. I definitely have a few that you could take from me. Long collection. Saban was just preaching about Bauer. I saw that actually when he was talking about him on the pre-draft show. One of the top impactful players. He completely changes the way defenses have to approach you with all the things he could do. Like H-back blocker, like he was talking about, wide receiver, tight end, slot. He could do absolutely everything. I'm pretty sure like half of his snaps were from the slot in Georgia anyway. So level of faith in Saleh year 3. I have faith in the talent that's here. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Saleh to put it together, but the talent might be so good that they can actually overcome the head coach. Now, he's done a good job on defense. I think maybe the question's more about Hackett and the offense than it is about Saleh. And is he going to have more of a role in the offense as well? Something to think about. Saleh wants Cooper to Saleh's always putting his opinions out there, apparently, with the draft picks, looking for defense. Wasn't that a lot of the rumors about why they ended up going with McDonald last year? It's year 4 of Saleh. That's right. Don't remind me. Trust me, you will see my reaction if they pick Bowers. Would anybody be upset if the Jets get Bowers at 10? There's no way. Like, guy's going to be a stud. Darren, the Kangaroos would make fun of you. A little behind on the chat, trying to catch up a little bit here. I'd be very upset with Bowers. I feel like Hackett would have no idea how to use him. Need a creative mind. He's an unusual player. I think Rodgers would probably have a lot of influence on how he gets used, but I have no issue at all if you're talking about a traditional tight end, maybe you have a little more concern, but I think they would find plenty of ways to use Bowers. Knicks call timeout, down 13-10. Kind of missing a little bit of what's going on here. Sounds like there's a lot of Knicks fans there. Looks like there's a lot of Knicks fans there. I know they took over that game earlier in the year. Do or die season for Saleh this year. Playoffs or he's gone. I think that's definitely an accurate statement. I don't think there's any way he survives if the Jets don't make the playoffs this year. Even if they win 10 games, I don't think that would be enough. Imagine Zach gets comeback player of the year. I can't picture a world where that happens. I think the best thing for Zach, and this is basically the same conversation that we were having 3 years ago with Darnold, the best thing for Zach would be to sit for a year or two. Like he needs that opportunity to just kind of reset, watch the game, relearn things, erase everything that he was taught here or all the bad habits that he learned here, and just clear his head, watch some football, and then another year or two he'll get a shot, like Sam might get this year with the Vikings. There is no way someone trades up for Bowers. The only team that would take him Is Tennessee at 7? That's a stretch. I don't think he's going to go before 10. I don't think anybody's trading into the top 10 for him. What I could see happen is maybe like a team like the Colts try to move up a few spots. If the Jets trade back or if they just don't take him at 10, maybe the Colts get a little antsy and they don't want to wait. But you're right. I don't think a team's probably trading up for a tight end, even though he's a very unique player. Yeah, I don't understand any Bowers hate at all. Rome or Bowers, and I'll be very happy. I would say probably Neighbors or Bowers. I'll be very happy. Or Alt. I'd be okay with O-line. It wouldn't be the sexy pick, but I feel like we all know deep down inside that's probably what the Jets need the most. So that should tell you how much I drink during the season. Her Bowers is very gassy. That could be that could definitely drop him a little bit. Jets draft a D player at 10 or trade back and take 2 D players. There's no chance we're seeing a defensive pick tonight. There's no way. No. Absolutely no way. You'll be okay tonight. What's going on? Sass, is that how you or Sace? Like Gase? How you doing? Anthony, what's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute. Peyton can't have confidence in Zach. He is drafting a quarterback. Yeah, very likely the Broncos get some. I mean, you got what? The Vikings at 11, and then Broncos and Raiders, all 3 teams behind the Jets that could be looking to move up to get a quarterback. So you wonder if Joe Douglas, again, like I was saying before, if there's a group of 3 or 4 offensive linemen that are still there, and maybe even Dunze and Bowers, if he would kind of say, like, you know what, we got a chance to get back into the second round or add an extra third round pick, and we're still going to get somebody that we love. I think there's more of a likelihood that they move back than they move up. Can't tell you the last time the Jets had a good tight end. I feel like they never utilized that position. Dustin Keller. I mean, that's probably the last one if we're being serious. I mean, Conklin's a very good player, but you're right. He doesn't get utilized enough. I do think it would be different with Bowers, though. I just think his skill set's completely different. He's basically a bigger wide receiver on day one. Year or two, obviously, he'll add a little muscle, a little more size. Even now as a blocker, he's physical. He's a good blocker. He can hold his own there. So, what's up, Jets? How you doing? The rumor today on Coward from Nicole Rossini is that the Rams are looking to trade up to take Bowers in the top 10. I don't think that's going to happen. I heard the rumor about the Rams moving up, but yeah, I don't think it would be for Bowers, though. That's a long way to move up to try to get a tight end. A.J. Brown is signing an extension. I've not heard all the stuff with A.J. Brown going on today. Take the best O-lineman or trade back and take the best O-lineman left on the board or trade back. Or on the trade. Wait, what? Left on the board. Wait, I got to read this again. Take the best O-lineman or trade back and take the best O-lineman left on the board. So if Alt goes and let's say Latham goes, who would your pick be then between Fuaga, Fashanu, and Fatanu? Because Fuaga, you got your right tackle, more of the run mauler. Olu is more, guaranteed to be your left tackle. It needs to add a little more size, great in pass protection. Fatanu gives you that versatility guard tackle, which might be the best pick for this year. If we're looking for the best team in 2024, I mean, you're talking about a guy that would be depth. So do you want to be covered on both ends, inside and outside? It's hard to figure out right now. If we don't get a weapon, I will be so upset. Depends, because, again, if you go O-line round 1, I think more likely than not you're looking to move up from round 3 into round 2, and I think that would be a great spot for them to get a weapon. So if you ultimately get a wide receiver in round 2 and then you still end up signing one of the veterans that are still out there, your wide receiver room looks pretty damn good, I think. So same, Oscar. The way that he's risen up these boards over the last few months, I think he's been coached a lot better, being with Harbaugh all these years. He's probably a little bit more NFL ready than Zach. But yeah, I definitely get those vibes as well. Just the way he's moved up so quickly. And I think it would be best, obviously, if he sits for a few years. A.J. Brown, 3-year extension, $96 million, 84 guaranteed. Wow. That is quite an extension there. People need to stop looking at Bowers as a tight end. Starscream. Well said. Yes, he is so much more than a tight end. He is an H-back. He is your slot receiver. He could do absolutely everything. There is nobody else that you're getting at pick 10 that could do the things that he could do. Nor are you getting anybody that's going to have the impact on your offense that he could have. So again, are you more concerned with protecting Rodgers and making sure that you have some kind of insurance plan if somebody goes down? Or do you say, you know what, this guy gives us the best starting 11, and now we have somebody that can go over the middle that could do all these different things. It's going to free up Garrett. It's going to free up Brees. He obviously helps as a blocker. Like he completely changes the dynamic of your offense. Probably more so, again, I said this before, more so than anybody other than Marvin Harrison Jr. So Keller was great before that knee injury. Good receiver. Little undersized, though. We have Zach Kuntz and Jeremy Ruckert. They need their opportunities, too. Ruckert will have plenty of opportunities. Zach Kuntz, I mean, he's on the practice squad. I don't think you can depend on him to have any kind of serious role. Even Ruckert still needs to prove it a little bit. I know he needs the opportunities to do that. But again, if you're getting somebody like Bowers, Ruckert cannot do the things that Bowers can do. Ruckert's a good player. You know, he could be your third tight end. There's nothing wrong with that. He could still have a role, but he's not doing the things that Bowers is doing. I still like Conklin as our tight end, so no big deal if we don't get Bowers, but I'd still be happy. I want O-line deep down. The wide receiver is up there too. Let's just get our pick already. This is going to be a very, very, very long 2 hours waiting for this 10th pick. No Bowers. Pick Bowers. We're kind of divided on Bowers right now. And Bowers is going to get a bag. That's something the Jets need to consider when taking him. Wait, what? How much are you going to want to pay this guy after his rookie contract? Well, if he plays well on his rookie contract, would we give a shit how much money we pay him on a second? Like, wouldn't that be a good problem to have? If he dominates on his rookie contract and you're actually giving him a second contract? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's what I'm saying. You're worried about a contract 5 years from now. Let him earn it, right? And what, you're not going to pay an exorbitant contract to a wide receiver or an offensive lineman? Like, anybody's going to get paid if they play well, and that's a good problem to have. Why? I don't know why we'd be concerned about that. When we have to pay Sauce, Brees, Garrett, and possibly Jermaine and Will. Yes, I am. And you're worried about paying talent. So, like, what's the alternate route that you want to go here? Like, draft bad players so that we don't have to worry about paying them? Like, is that the plan? Draft like guys that are going to be like Becton. They'll walk in free agency, so you don't have to pay them. We'll have cap space to sign mediocre free agents. Like, is that the route we're going here? Like, what are we talking about? Not a Bowers boy. Why not? Why not, V-Man? What don't you like about Brock Bowers? If we take Brock that high, he better be George Kittle. Again, you look at the teams in the Final Four last year with Laporta, with Kelsey, Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely, and who's the one I'm forgetting? And Kittle. I mean, that pretty much says it all right there. Like, the impact that a tight end can have is just as valuable, if not more so, than a wide receiver. So I'm going to turn this Nick game off for now. We're at 13-13. Head over to the draft, which should be starting in, like 2 minutes? Any free agents that anybody's looking at right now? Most important question of the night for the chat. Does NFL Network still have that ESPN jingle before each pick? Good question. I got the volume on low right now, so hard to really hear what's going on, but I see Caleb Williams get interviewed. What's going on? She's Dragon. How you been? Statistically, V-Man, top 10 tight end have rarely ever panned out. Joe Blewett did a breakdown. Bowers has red. What are his red flags exactly? And again, like, what does it matter that historically tight ends haven't done well? Like, Bowers, like I keep saying, he's not your traditional tight end. Like, if you're looking at him as only a tight end, like, you're not watching everything that he did at Georgia. More than half his snaps came in the slot. And right now, that's the Jets' biggest need, is a slot receiver. So he fills two voids for you. He's another tight end, but he's also that slot receiver that you need. Because right now, your slot guy is Xavier Gibson. Unless you're signing Tyler Boyd or somebody like that, right now, that's your slot receiver, who I think is going to be better in year two. But do we really want him going into training camp as our starting guy in the slot? Now, I know you can move Garrett around. You can move Mike Williams around. But I feel like ideally in a perfect world, both those guys are on the outside. So like if you can get Bowers and he's also your number one / number two tight end with Conklin, and he's also taking snaps out of the slot. You have bigger guys out there, helps you in the run game. Like, what's wrong with that? Here's my assumption: trade up, it's for wide receivers. Stay, it's Bowers or O line. Trade back, it's O line. I think you nailed it, Matt. I think if they are trading up, the only thing I would say is that maybe they would consider trading up for Alt. The the only reason I don't think they would though, and you're probably right, like trading back if they do have a pool that they think is close between Latham, the Fulaga, Faltano, all those guys. There's possibly I think there was a rumor today that 10 offensive linemen could be going round one. So if you have a nice haul that's coming at you, and you still think you can get somebody that's capable of starting day one on the O line, might be the way to go. I want to get back into round two. Like that's my thought. If you could do it with your third round pick and future assets, I feel like that would be the way to go. But if there's also a lot of talent there at 10 where you feel comfortable moving back a few spots, I don't think that's a bad second option either. Gase over Bowers. Wow. We really don't need to talk about Gase tonight, please. Hello to everyone from Random Man. I'm not drunk enough for this draft. I got Gotham City Crew out there. Wonder if Eminem's there tonight. Would like to get in second round anywhere for a wide receiver. Several of them could end up a starting 2 or 3 before the end of the year. Absolutely. I know they had Roman Wilson in for a top 30 visit. Malachi Corley, he's another guy I like, kind of a bowling ball, almost like a Debo, as far as yards after the catch, tough runner, willing blocker. Both those guys seem like the Jets prototype for a wide receiver. Red flag, he's a tight end. That's not a red flag. Like I said, if you're only looking at him as a tight end, then yes, that would be a red flag. He's not just a tight end, though. Bowers or Rome, Adunze at 10 or trade back. I wouldn't be mad with O-line. It's not the sexy pick. And again, it wouldn't be somebody that's starting year one, which I think would be like the initial disappointment. I think deep down, we all know that's probably like the smartest route for the Jets to go, not just for this year, but also the future. This year obviously takes precedent. But again, it's so tricky because like a guy like Olu, he's only depth for left tackle. We don't know if he could play right tackle, and he's obviously not playing guard. So if he's your best offensive lineman, do you still take him? Or because it's a win now year, is depth more important, where a guy like Faltanu maybe is the pick because he gives you insurance at guard and tackle? That's why it's so tricky and almost why I would just rather go the route of Connor McGovern, Bakhtiari, Donovan Smith, guys like that, Becton maybe, and just take your chances with veteran depth and go get your playmakers at 10 and even in round 3. Bowers doesn't block, so essentially you are drafting a slow receiver. I mean, I would disagree that he doesn't block. I mean, he needs to add a little bit more size. There's probably going to be a learning curve as far as the physicality, but I mean, at least from day one, I think you're getting a big receiver that you could use pretty much anywhere on the field. So I wouldn't say he's slow either. He's also going to be matched up against like safeties and linebackers. So they always pin red flags on draft picks to downplay how much whichever team wants them. You got a lot of analysts that have him as a top 3 or 4 player in this draft. I think the route we go is wide receiver. We're one injury away from Lazard playing again. I think it's a smarter decision. Well, you're also one injury away from Ruckert being your starting tight end. You're one injury away from Carter Warren or Max Mitchell being a starting tackle. So a lot of different routes you can go, at least with Lazard. And I know we don't want him to have a major role in the offense this year, but at least you know he can play with Rodgers. I think he's going to be better this year. He's probably your number 4, number 5. But you still have Mike Williams. You still have plenty of veteran free agents out there. And I love the pool of receivers in round 2 and round 3. I think you can get a lot of day one contributors in those middle rounds. And so if you can address another need at 10, I almost feel like that's the best route to go, whether it's O-line or tight end. Bowers blocks decent, so he's an extra O-line help occasionally, which we need too. I agree. Historically, OSU QBs haven't panned out, but look at Stroud. Things change. Can't draft based on historical data. Well said, Alfredo. Good to see you, man. How you been? But yeah, you can't look at the past. I know there's also the same thing with like USC quarterbacks, and then obviously if Caleb Williams is great, completely destroys that narrative. So we'll see what happens. Draft, I believe, is about to get underway. It's 8:05. I don't think anybody's on the clock yet. Trade back and use Voodoo to sign Marius Mims and Bad Lad McConkey. I like both those players. Mims, obviously, he's got the injury concern, hasn't played a whole lot, but as far as upside, I mean, him and Latham might have as much upside as any offensive lineman in this draft. It's just, do you trust them to stay healthy? Like, I'm kind of scared of the 360-pound offensive lineman after we went through, the last couple of years with Becton. PT, I'm 42 years old, and I like to watch an offense that has potential to score 25, 30 points a game for once in my life. Well said. Yes. Yes, that's too much to ask for. Well, listen, we know they're going offense at pick 10. And I think even if you do go offensive lineman, that's going to make everything else better. It opens up the run game. Rodgers is obviously going to make your receivers better. Like, there's a lot of different ways they could do this, but it does have to be an offensive pick. I think that's what we could all agree on. Jets never do well in round two. They got Marcus May. Right, Brees Hall. Yeah, Brees. PT over Bowers. I don't think I can play tight end. Oh, shit, Eminem's there. Let's go. What is he doing walking with Goodell? I can't hear the audio on this shit. He looks like he's about to beat the shit out of Goodell. Wait, is he actually live there? We gonna get like a concert? Now I'm mad I'm not there. Can't believe Goodell's coming out to Eminem. I thought he was gonna be live. Disappointed now. Or is he coming out? Oh shit. Oh shit, he's here. He's got no mic though. Imagine he just like freestyle raps like every draft pick for the night. Looks like the Giants going for quarterback now. Could be really crazy. I'm seeing rumors that anybody from like 3 to 10 could all move back. So it's gonna be nuts. Goodell, did he just really tease a rap battle with Eminem? Oh my god. What else we got? Why are we talking about the Lions? They're not on the clock. Or who's there? Barry Sanders there or something like that? Oh, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson there. So just bringing out current players. Go back to the chat while they do all this. Sorry to hear that. Lost my cousin Jack on Tuesday. Dude managed rock bands back in the day. One of the best bands he managed. Sorry to hear that, man. Hate hearing shit like that. Hope you're doing well. If you need anything, man, reach out. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Perry D, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, enjoying the draft. Somebody can give, Barry Sanders out there. Somebody can give some updates on the Knicks. That would be awesome. Try not to keep flicking back and forth. Malik Neighbors is dropping, and we are getting him now. It's hard to trust any of that because you got some people that are saying he's still better than Marvin Harrison. Others that are saying Adunze could be jumping him now. I don't know what to trust. Bowers hit a top speed of 21 miles per hour last year. He's definitely slow. I would disagree with that assessment. He plays a lot faster than his miles per hour looks. He's quick in and out of his routes. You try to match up a safety or a linebacker on him, you can exploit that all day. So Bowers runs beautifully. He's smooth. Who is it? I think it was Jerry Rice also. Didn't he run like a 4.640? I'm higher on Adunze than Neighbors for a jet fit. So fine if Adunze is the one that falls. I don't think I'm torn on Adunze because I do think he's below Neighbors just a little bit. Obviously, I think he's a starter from day one. I think he's got a good long-term future. I just don't think he's that immediate impact guy that Neighbors or Marvin Harrison is. Like both those guys, I could easily see catching 80 to 100 balls in year one. I don't know if you're getting that from Adunze, though. Can we get the Bears on the clock, please? Caleb is going to be such a bust, way too spoiled and whiny. Going to be such a bad pick for the Bears. Fields is going to be the dude in Pittsburgh in about 2 to 3 years. Wouldn't shock me at all if Fields ends up playing well over in Pittsburgh. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust, but I do think it might take him a few years to figure it out. I want O-line if Joe Alt is there at 10. I know I'm still dreaming. That'd be very hard to pass up. If you have, in theory, the top offensive lineman just sitting there for you at 10, can you really afford to pass that up? And he can probably fill in left tackle or right tackle, gives you a little more versatility maybe than someone like Olu, but I'm just so torn. Again, the win now mindset, which I know some people think we shouldn't have, that's where I'm confused because in many other years, I think the pick would be pretty clear. Like you're going offensive line based on the last number of years, wanting to protect your quarterback who's a little bit older, having some insurance there. So this is tough. We'll see if Tyson hops on at some point. I'm pretty sure he's home. I can't believe that JD got anything for Zach at all. Impressive, but he needs to hit on pick 10 this year. Yes, I'm shocked that they didn't have to end up just cutting him at some point before training camp. But yeah, so the fact that you were able to move up, from round 7 to round 6, swap of picks there, and even getting Denver to pay, what was it, like $2.75 million? Shocked about that too. So, what is Adam Schefter reporting here? There's a couple ways Alt can be there at 10. I don't see it. I don't want upside. I want a sure thing. Unfortunately, in the draft, you're not really going to get a sure thing. I mean, any of the offensive linemen, I think beyond Alt and even Alt, I mean, I think they all have some questions. I think Alt is probably the safest bet, but there's really no sure thing in the draft. If you are happy the Jets beat the Pats week 18, you shouldn't want to now trade up for a wide receiver. I remember that. Yeah, appreciate the super chat, Ivan. But yeah, I remember the last stream of the year. A lot of people were celebrating that win. I tried to enjoy it, just ending the losing streak against New England, sending Belichick out with a loss. You try to enjoy that a little bit, but yeah, it cost the Jets a few picks, and you just hope that it doesn't ultimately cost them an impact player where now they end up going in a different direction and has that trickle down effect. But can't look at it that way. A lot of talent still on the board at 10, most likely. So we'll see. I've been getting some love for that comment. Last time the offensive line wasn't trash was 2015. That's probably right. Yeah. I mean, the last couple of years of D-Brick and Mangold, that was pretty much it. That's why I love the Tyron Smith signing so much. Brought me back to like the Mawai days and Faneca. Like you need that veteran anchor on your offensive line. So hopefully it's more than a year, but even if it's just this year, again, you're talking best team for 2024. Can't get better than Tyron Smith. So I love that move. Raiders trade up with the Jets for the 10th pick. That would be interesting. I think it would be hard to get upset if you're, picking 13? And if you get back into round 2? We need a PT rap battle again this season. I was actually thinking because it doesn't feel like it. It's been 3 years since I did the Sam Darnold freestyle. So maybe it's time for a Zach Wilson one. We'll see. Skip Bayless is high on Bowers. Damn. Don't ruin it. Robotron looks like he can still play. Knicks up 22-21. Good to hear that. I was gonna say Megatron, right? Yeah. Robotron's a pretty cool nickname, though. Can we just skip all this corny stuff and get to the picks? Well, no, because they got to get all their content in. They got to get all their commercials in. So even though the Bears have been on the clock for months, they're going to wind this down probably to the last 2 minutes. Now we're tied at 2024. 21 miles per hour is fast. That's right. Didn't Brees, wasn't he around like 22 or 23 last year? Adunze is a Garrett clone. We already have that player. Isn't Adunze like 6'3", like 218 pounds? I feel like he's got a little more size. Olu scares me as a rookie starter. As a backup behind Tyron, he's a grand slam walking off. I kind of feel that way also. That's why I was a little surprised over the last few months when a lot of the mocks have had him falling beyond the top 10. Because a few months ago, it would have been easily, like for me, Alt number 1 and Fashanu number 2 as just the best pass protector in this draft. Reminds me a lot of D-Brick. Needs to probably put on like 10 or 15 pounds of muscle, but he's going to be a stud at left tackle. I would not be mad at all if they got him. Yeah, Bowers is not slow. Let's kill that talk. Tight ends don't have to be super fast to be good. That's also true. Williams is good, but he's nowhere close to generational or being Mahomes or anything like that. They always overhype these quarterbacks every year. Williams has probably had the most hype since what? Trevor Lawrence, I would think, right? And Trevor probably had the most hype since Andrew Luck. So there's definitely levels to the types of hype that we see. I mean, he's been on another level now, I think, for the last 6 months or so. Adunze is nothing like Garrett, not a route runner separation guy at all. Yeah, he's more of the big body contested guy. Still booing Goodell is the funniest thing ever. Wish I could hear it a little better. We'd be picking at number 6 if we lost to the Pats. Good talk. Glad to know that. We are undefeated in 2024. I'm starting to get nervous. Bears pick is in. I didn't think I was going to be nervous tonight. Feel pretty good. Like it's going to be offense, but scared to see how this board's going to play out. Offensive line wasn't trash in 2015. No, the O-line in 2015 was solid. They kept Fitz upright most of the year. Not going to lie, I'd rather have Malik Neighbors than Adunze. Completely agree. If we're talking about day one impact players, that's definitely Neighbors. Long term, I think Adunze is going to have a great career, but Neighbors is coming in just straight dog right away. So you can never have too many Garrett Wilsons. Well said. The question is, though, again, is it best use of resources to try to get that other receiver at pick 10? Like when they took Garrett Wilson, they didn't have a number 1. Right now, you have Garrett Wilson. He's your featured guy. So, right now you need somebody to complement him and take some of the attention off of him. Jaden Daniels is better than Williams. Different kind of quarterbacks, but I like his skill set. I like Drake May a lot, too. I really don't want the Patriots to get him. All right, Bears pick is in. The Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams. All right, so we got the first pick out of the way. Big question is, like, when is the first surprise of the draft going to happen? I think most people agree it's going to be what? Caleb Williams 1, Daniels 2, May 3. I don't think the Cardinals are trading 4. I think that's going to be Harrison. The Chargers, I think, could be a wild card. I think it's possible they could trade that pick if Harbaugh wants to get a haul, kind of plan for the future a little bit. The Giants, I have no idea what the hell they're doing. The Chargers trade their pick to a team looking for a quarterback. Does that change the Giants' plan a little bit there? Interesting suit choice here by Caleb Williams. The zipper in the front. Very interesting choice. of wardrobe attire there. I'm pretty convinced now he's going to be a bust. That suit's just not it. That suit is not it. I'm a little scared. I'm more nervous than scared. I would say that's what it is. A little more nervous than scared. End of the first quarter. Knicks are up 29-27. I'll take that. Good road first quarter in the playoffs. Neighbors, only receiver that won't make me throw my beer at the TV. Other than that, I want O-line. So if the Jets somehow got Marvin Harrison, you would throw your beer at the TV? Or are we just assuming that Marvin Harrison's not going to be there? Because I don't think anybody would be upset with Marvin Harrison. Dunze's confidence in his hands are his superpower. With Williams and Wilson, he could shock people how consistent he is. I still feel like it might take a year or two before he reaches that potential. But definitely good insurance behind Mike Williams. Jets mess, what's going on? How you been? NFL Network did not have the jingle. That's disappointing to hear. Also, I think the Vikings trade up to 3. I don't think the Patriots are trading the pick. I could see the Vikings moving up to 5. That wouldn't shock me at all if they move up with the Chargers. But I don't think the Patriots are trading that pick. I think they're taking their quarterback. Yeah, Caleb Williams with that suit, 100% bust. Sorry, prime time, not taking fashion advice. What's wrong with my fashion? I got my Jets jersey on. You never see me in a suit. I clean up pretty well when I choose to, which is probably once every 3 or 4 years. Occasional wedding, shit like that. I don't dress up very often, though. One of the last times I really got dressed up going into the city was for the old Jets uniform reveal. The one with Arnold and Jamal Adams, that shit show. Yes, I was there credentialed for that. Good times. He might not be a bust, but Williams is not a lock. Go Islanders, no. Let's go Rangers. Islanders blowing that 3-0 lead. You don't come back from that in a series, unfortunately. So Carolina's just freaking good. Haven't been this confident about a bust since Zach. That's a statement. I'll get a beer if Jets get Harrison. I think we would all be drinking a lot of beers tonight if the Jets somehow pulled off Marvin Harrison. Tyron Smith or Moses suffers season-ending injury week 4. Would you rather Bakhtiari or a first-round rookie as the primary backup? And I think that's the excellent question. Do we trust Joe Douglas to pick the right guy that's capable of playing in year 1? And is that guy capable of playing at left tackle or right tackle? Or both? That's the issue with going O-line there. A veteran, you can trust maybe a little bit more to move around. A rookie could be a little bit difficult. I've already been told about the Jake Asman joke. I don't understand it. Somebody please explain it. I don't know what it means. I got to watch Jake now. Or I got to DM him. Figure it out. Funniest story ever is Faneca never spoke to Sanchez until the playoffs. Not a word. I don't think I remember hearing any of that. Faneca was supposedly a good leader. Why would he not talk to Sanchez? What did Sanchez do? Yeah, that game. I saw, what was it, the video from the bar with all the Islander fans? That was tough to watch. This is where the draft really starts. Washington with 3 more minutes left. I'm just hoping not to throw something across the room when the Jets select their pick. Actually, I wouldn't mind if I ended up throwing something. The last time I threw something after a pick was Sauce. I was still hoping for a pass rusher at the time. I didn't want a corner, so one of the times I admittedly was very wrong about a draft pick. Bill Belichick is dropping knowledge on Pat McAfee's show. Much better than ABC coverage. Sorry, trying to fix my back here. Oh, back's been killing me lately. Need to get Bach. He'll be a decent addition on and off the field. I just feel like that's a smarter route. Having guys that can play, veteran offensive linemen that have starting experience. You don't have to worry about the rookie learning curve or even the possibility of drafting the wrong guy. You have guys that you know could play at the NFL level. Like that's what I want backing up Tyron Smith and Moses. What's up, MH? Is that Marvin Harrison? Is that you? Coming early? Faneca knew early Sanchez was a clown. I wouldn't say Sanchez was a clown. I mean, his first 2 years had plenty of success. Probably had a little maturing to do, but that's the job, I would think, of a veteran, right? To show the young quarterback the right way to do things. So interesting hearing all that. I don't remember that. I was referring more so about Bakhtiari's injury history. To me, it makes no sense backing up Smith or Moses with an even more injury-riddled player. Well, the difference would be that he's not obviously playing every week. So the hope, I think, would be that both those guys avoid a major injury. And if anything, you just need Bakhtiari for like spot starts here and there. So maybe he plays 4 or 5 games for the whole year. And at that point, could you trust him to maybe hold up a little bit better? You know he can play at a high level if he's healthy. So if he's not going through the grind and the wear and tear week after week, I just feel like that's the smarter route. And then you can sign multiple guys too. It doesn't just have to be Bakhtiari. See what the market is on Becton, Donovan Smith, Pete, like a few other guys out there. Let's get our weapon. Let's fucking go. JETS, 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 Jets. Thank you for the super chat, Lauren. Appreciate it. All right, Washington's pick is in. It's going to be Daniels, right? Yep. All right. So we got Daniels, and now the Patriots on the clock. I'm hoping this is not Drake May. I would like to see them trade back, but it's probably going to be May here. We'll drop some knowledge. I don't have too much knowledge. I definitely don't have any knowledge on the defensive players in this draft. I don't think I've watched probably more than 5 or 10 minutes on any of the defensive prospects in this draft. So my focus has been solely on the offense. I have my my giant draft board here. All my offensive players, a couple defensive guys. See how that goes. All right, so the Commanders go with Daniels. Yeah, Sanchez was a lot of things. Clown was not one of them. Again, I think it's fair to say he had some maturing to do early on in his career with the the hot dog incident and things like that. But he was still a good quarterback that I think was kind of a victim to having all of his talent taken away from him and being thrust into that larger role kind of a little bit too soon. Like when he could rely on the run game, he was effective. And then once you asked him to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game, that Giant game still pisses me off on Christmas Eve. I think he had like 58 pass attempts that game. Like that's a good way to ruin your quarterback. Take away his O-line, take away his weapons, ask him to throw the ball 50 times. Ridiculous. All right, so we got Caleb Williams pick 1, Daniels pick 2. Patriots, I would think, are going May here unless they trade the pick. I'm thinking Harrison's going to the Cardinals, and I'm thinking the Chargers are probably trading at a 5 at this point. We shall see. It's going to get very interesting very quick. Once that first trade happens, then I think a whole bunch of moves could follow. But we will see. Can we stop showing these guys before the pick? It gives it away. Buy Tyrone something nice. MH, man, appreciate you, dude. I will definitely send a portion of this to Tyrone and wish him well. Maybe we could even get him on tonight. I can DM him the link if he wants to hop on at some point tonight. LT is the pick if one is available at 10. So Fashanu's there at 10. Is that your pick? I mean, I think it makes sense. I would still prefer the weapon with the veteran depth at tackle, but if you get your left tackle of the future and also somebody that you feel comfortable with that can back up this year, it's not a bad plan at all. I know it's a made up dude. I just don't know like what's the joke with it. Like I don't know where it came from. I don't know the origins of Knoble. So I'm not on YouTube enough. Washington fans going nuts right now. Need to get myself a Knicks update. Ooh, Knicks losing by 3. 6 minutes left, second quarter. Pro Bowl wide receivers are always taken in rounds 3 or later. Look at Nakua last year. The fact that JD doesn't have a single offensive starter drafted past round 2 is insane. Good GMs find starters in later rounds. Ivan, you were on fire tonight with your comments. That's been the one thing that Douglas has kind of been lacking, right? He has the one home run draft, but that was obviously off the heels of the Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold trades. They had all the extra picks. You use those effectively. You give him credit for that. But what has he found in the later rounds other than, Michael Carter, the DB? A lot left to be desired there. This would be the good year to figure it out, though. This would be a really good year to figure it out. This is supposedly the year for tackles and wide receivers. So our biggest needs. I'm getting nervous, man. Patriots pick is in. So the Patriots did not trade the pick. So this is obviously, I think, Drake May, which I hate because he's going to be pretty good. At least I think he is. I remember looking at the scoreboard, leaving that Giants game shocked that Sanchez threw so many passes. That was such a despicable performance that day. I don't think I had ever been more pissed off leaving a game. And then the fact that the Giants used that win to propel themselves to a Super Bowl, hate that. I missed that update from Schefter on the Patriots, but I assume this is about to be May, and then I'm going to have to go to the bathroom at some point really quick here. Let's see what else we got. Hot dog incident was overblown. Dude was hungry. Yeah, but I mean, you can't be sitting there like throwing mustard on it and, get a quick bite and then toss it. You can't be sitting there on the bench eating a hot dog. It's not a good look. Chargers are the wild card move. I think the Chargers are trading. I just think Harbaugh is going to look for a haul, prepare the team for the future, get a haul of picks that they can use later on. Bulaga, going to be interesting to see where he goes. This is going to be May, isn't it? Patriots pick is in. Third pick in the draft. And I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick after this. Drake May, of course. Be back in 30 seconds. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. I'll get right back to it. All right. Have I watched Fallout? I have not. Is that Netflix? Because I have not been on Netflix probably in about 2 years, so I have a lot of catching up to do on my TV shows. What's up, guys? Been a while. Back for draft night. Let's get it. Good to see you, Zach. Hope all is well. After the Pats. Why are we talking about Mark Sanchez eating a hot dog tonight? I don't know why there's Mark Sanchez hate anyway. Guy was good for 2 years. Last winning teams that we've pretty much had, or at least last playoff teams that we've had. I'd say round 2 has elite wideouts more so than round 1. Who's your favorite, Mr. Calico? More I watch of Malachi Corley, I'm starting to love him. I was a big Devontae Walker guy early on. I still like him. Got Drake May's alma mater watch party going on. He's going to be good, man. Damn it. We need to think beyond 1 year. Top tier O-line is tough to find. It's much easier to trade for a wide receiver. That's why I said before, like in most years, you're probably going offensive line, but it's so clear that the window for this team is the next 2 years with Rodgers. So if you're getting somebody that's ultimately not going to be ready for another couple of years or is not even going to start this year, Like, is that the best plan for the 2024 Jets? Like, we spent so many years talking about the future and all these rebuilds. Like, I want what's best for right now. Maybe short-sighted, but I want the best chance to win in 2024. Probably the wrong mindset to have, but again, also, it's not like a guy like Bowers, isn't going to help you for the future either. I mean, ideally, he's here for 10 years or even a Dunze, whatever weapon you get. Just hit on the pick. I just think wide receiver is probably easier to solve in round 3 or by trading up into round 2. Chargers pick trade will throw a wrinkle in several of the rest of the top 10 teams' decisions. I agree with that. Cardinals have about 4 minutes left on the clock. I think we all know this is going to be Harrison. Tyson, I know, will be on Monday night. I think he's doing a show with Green Bean. I'll probably hop on again maybe tomorrow night. If not tomorrow night, we could do a recap on Saturday or Sunday, just going through all the draft picks. I want Bowers. That's been my guy from day one. I just think he changes the dynamic of your offense. He could do so many different things. Like, you're not getting a receiver or another tight end that can have the kind of impact that Bowers can have on your offense anywhere else in this draft. So that would be the direction I go. I think you can get your receiver later on and in free agency. I think you can get your depth of line in free agency, but you're not getting another Bowers anywhere else. All right, so the Cardinals pick is in. I assume this is Harrison, is it going to be Neighbors? Could all those rumors be true? Because that would be very interesting. If Neighbors somehow went here, do you try to go up to 5, get Harrison? I'd be about that. I'm back. Trying to catch up a little bit here. What's going on, Nick? Hope all is well. Glad you're free of your exams. Maybe he's in pain. I look older than him. Can't wait for Will McDonald to crush that guy this season. I hope Will McDonald pans out. Otherwise, we're going to be looking back at last year's draft, just pissed off at those receivers we didn't get. Yes, Cardinals. I can't believe it took this long to get this pick in, but yeah. I'd be shocked if this isn't Harrison. It's got to be him. Anthony, hey, PT, would it be bad if the Jets were to trade back with the Broncos for Sutton and use the pick for one of the OTs? I would not be mad at that at all. If you only move back a couple spots and you get another receiver to pair with Garrett and Mike Williams, shit, I'd be all about that. Cardinals select Marvin Harrison. Well done, Cardinals, making the smart pick there. So now is where it gets interesting. What do the Chargers do? Who is Drake May throwing to? That's a good question. You could definitely question the Patriots skill position players right now. Might even be best if they sit him for a year. I think that's always the smart. Having watched the Jets ruin so many quarterbacks by throwing them right into the fire, I think that would probably be my mindset going forward with any quarterback that's drafted in the future. You have to sit for at least 1 year. Sit, watch, and then year 2, that's where you can really compete to play. Otherwise, I don't trust the Jets putting any future rookie quarterback right into the fire. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall, another guy in round 2. Like I was saying before, Malachi Corley, Roman Wilson had a top 30 visit. Devontae Walker, I've been high on. Keon Coleman, if you want size and speed. Xavier Leggett. I think he had like 17 or 18 yards per catch. A lot of receivers out there that you can get in round 2 or 3. Preferably trading up into round 2. Yeah, Sanchez beat the Pats in the playoffs. Lay off him with the hot dog shit. What's up, Don? Good to see you. Hope all is well. We're talking about Sanchez because talking about anything more recent is somehow more depressing. That is true, but the future looks bright now. We got Aaron Rodgers coming back. We got a nice 2-year window here. Let's nail this pick tonight, and let's go to work. I think Jets are looking to trade down. They want a second-round pick. So again, like I was saying before, like what's the easier path to getting that second round pick? Trading down or using your third rounder and something from next year to move up? That's like if you can find some way to use future assets to move up and also get the best available player at 10, I feel like that's probably the route you want to go in, unless you're only moving back a couple spots. Because I don't think they would move into the late teens or early 20s. Because at that point, the board just becomes unpredictable. So I don't think that would happen. Pat's roster is peak Jets circus bad. Kids doomed. Could be a rough start if they do play him early on. Appreciate you, Boba Jet. Thanks for joining. Can I get another mock draft? Just one more. Well, I'll say the Chargers trade this pick. I'm going to say the Giants. Could the Giants really go McCarthy? If the Chargers trade this pick, obviously it's for a quarterback. If the Chargers take somebody here, if it's not Neighbors, I think that's the Giants pick. If the Chargers do make the pick, very possible it is Neighbors. And then I have no idea what the Giants would do. I mean, are the Giants going to go McCarthy if he's there? Do they go with the quarterback? See, Bowers Peep's been missing having PT around. I've been Bowers from day one, man. What are the Chargers going to do here? If Alt is there, got to get him. If not Bowers. There's no way that Alt's going to slide, right? I don't think he makes it past the Titans at 7. Noon was a fun player to watch when he was healthy. It's a shame he had all those neck injuries. I think Bowers and Marvin Harrison are probably the two safest picks in this draft. Yeah, even 4 quarterbacks in the top 5 would still be pretty wild. The Chargers end up trading this right here. Yeah, the Marvin Harrison dream is over before it even started. I think we all knew that wasn't really going to happen. Do the Giants get Neighbors or do the Chargers get Neighbors? I just figured the Chargers were trading this for a team that wanted a quarterback. If the Chargers go Neighbors, I think the Giants definitely go McCarthy at pick 6. Which I would love because I think he's going to be a bust. Bears can go D still. That's possible. They have 2 solid receivers, which is why I've kind of been surprised that so many mocks have them going wide out. The Dunze might be there for the Jets, guys. It might happen. This sets up for Rome to go sooner now. Well, let's see. I'm kind of hoping Dunze's off the board. I'd rather it just be Bowers and your top 3 or 4 offensive linemen, and then you make your decision from there. I don't want them to be tempted to go wide receiver at 10. I just think you could solve that elsewhere. I wouldn't be mad. Bears need D more than O. They need an edge. Yeah, we're going to get the live streams rolling again soon. I know Tyson enjoys doing the content with other Jets content creators. They obviously bring a lot more knowledge than I do. I'm not doing all these player breakdowns and scouting reports and things like that. Wish I had time for it. Really do. This summer, though, I'll be at training camp. I'll be doing plenty of stuff this summer, though. So be ready for that. We need the 6 or 7 pick to have a shot. Have a shot at what? We're talking about Neighbors or a Dunze? Please, someone make a trade for a quarterback. Well, the Chargers have 2 minutes left on the clock. Still no pick in yet. If you do know the pick, please don't spoil it. Is it going to be Latham? Who knows? Javid, how you been, man? Been a minute? I know for a fact Javid does not want a tight end tonight. I know that for a fact. He is not about Brock Bowers. All to Tennessee, I would assume as well. I am nervous as hell. My heart's actually. Could you imagine if Alt is still there? Man, this is wild. We're all on pins and needles right now. And still only pick 5. Chargers pick is in, so the Chargers do not trade the pick. So this is probably Neighbors, I would assume, right? Yeah, for some reason, it seems like a lot of mocks have Latham moving up into the top 10. Some even have him in front of Alt, which I think would be a major surprise. I'm shocked that the Chargers did not trade this pick. Yeah, if you are checking out the spoilers on Twitter, please don't post them in the chat. I like enjoying the old school way of watching it, where you get the real time reaction, hearing it. So please do not try to spoil it. When the Jets pick, I will be covering the chat once the pick is in, so there will be no spoilers there. Is this the swing of the first round? We will see. Giants, according to Random Man, is the pick where shit gets real. I think Giants might be going quarterback. Yeah, Jets could be on the clock right now without that win versus the Patriots. So the Jets essentially could have Malik Neighbors right now. If you want to slam your head through a wall, thinking about that. Yeah, no spoiling. Could the Giants go alt also? That would be interesting. Kevin, you're rocking that Namath jersey. Did you get around to watching? I've watched Super Bowl III many times, actually. One of the most boring games that you could ever watch. But obviously, I think if you were watching it live at the time, just having the Jets as, what was it, 16 and a half or 17 and a half point underdogs playing that way, winning a Super Bowl, having your team in the Super Bowl, which I've never experienced. I'm sure it was a much different feeling back then. All right, Chargers pick it in. Let's see what this is. I'm going to say it's Neighbors. Chargers select Joe Alt. Whoa. Whoa. That's a solid pick for Harbaugh. That's how you build your team, through the trenches. His very first pick, offensive line, best offensive lineman in the draft. Smart pick. Yep, Harbaugh trenches. That is the smart pick. It is not Jake Moody. Yeah, Giants probably going quarterback now. I would think this is McCarthy coming up here. Bomb Trady to the Giants. That would be interesting. Hope they take J. I hope they take JJ also, because I do not think he's going to be all that good. Neighbors, I think, would be the smart pick for the Giants here. Chargers turned away trade offers for Herbert. No shit. What do you mean they drafted Turner? What's Turner? My ranking options: Neighbors, Adunze, then I have Bowers, then I trade down an O-line. If we trade down and don't get a second rounder back, I'd be disappointed. Field Yates had us trading down for a third. Depends how many spots. I mean, if you're only moving back 2 spots and you're getting an extra third round pick, I wouldn't be too mad about that. Obviously, you'd like to get back into round 2. But if you have 2 third round picks, 2 fourth round picks, plus all your ammunition from next year, that's a great way to still get back into round 2. So I don't think I'd be that upset, but it also depends on the pool of players that are still there once you get to 10. Because now you have one offensive lineman off the board. If the Titans go O-line, and then maybe somebody trades up to 9 for another offensive lineman, are we taking the 4th best offensive lineman, or trading down and maybe getting the 5th or 6th? So this is where it gets tough. Now Bowers is in play at 7 for the Titans. That's also true. Congrats to Random Man on a perfect top 5 mock. Titan fans are crying. Almost every mock I saw was having Joe Alt there at 7 for the Titans. So yeah, that's got to be tough. Imagine the Jets right now. If we were picking at 6, if we lost to the Patriots, we were all looking for Alt. Boom, that would suck. Did the Giants win the lottery, though? Giants control neighbors. Giants pick is in. Primetime, you need someone to join. It's weird seeing you by yourself. Well, I get to interact with the chat for a little bit, and then once the pick is made, I will post the link. So if anybody wants to hop on, I'll just do like quick 2-3 minute reactions for everybody that wants to hop on. We'll get as many people on as we can over like an hour or two, and then call it a night. Maybe back tomorrow. We'll see. 4 picks left. 2 top wide receivers remain. Wonder what the Giants are doing here. I think it's going to be a quarterback. I hope it's a quarterback. I think we all wanted Alt, but we kind of knew it wasn't realistic. He's staying at 10. What a joke. I wouldn't say it's a joke without knowing like what the offer was. I mean, it's possible that nobody wanted to trade back at this point. Just don't really have a whole lot to move up. So I said before, I think it's more likely they stay at 10 or possibly even trade back than it was, them moving up. Got to be Neighbors here. I think Giants go with the later quarterback like Milton or Travis. I think Neighbors is the smart pick. I guess maybe I'm just hoping it's going to be McCarthy. Why don't we just draft like 4 linemen with our first 4 picks? So what are we doing about our need for another playmaker? Now do you take the 3rd best lineman or Bowers? To me, it's a no-brainer. 3rd best or possibly 4th. I mean, we'll see if 1 or possibly 2 O linemen go. You might be taking the 4th O lineman. It's like shades of the Becton draft again. Giants pick is in. I'm not going to scroll through the chat yet. Do not want spoilers. Giants select Malik Neighbors. Giants with the smart pick there. So far, everyone's making smart picks. I mean, Chargers did the right thing. I think Giants did the right thing. All right, so will Odunze make it another 3 picks? I thought they were going JJ also. A little surprised there, but that was definitely the smart move, I think. Hate to say it, but that was a smart move for the Giants. All of our Joe Alt dreams have been canceled. We're crushed. No trades yet. I'm very surprised by that, too. You wonder if Douglas is on the phones right now, trying to get up to 7 or 8. The Titans had their sights set on Alt. Maybe they're willing to move back. I just don't know who you'd be trading up for at this point. Like, to me, it was Harrison, it was Alt, or possibly Neighbors. Other than that, like, I'm not moving up. So at this point, you're sitting at 10 or you're trading back, I think. Why are we not happy with Joe Douglas? We're not even at pick 10 yet. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they could actually get something in a trade back. Like, are we really going to be upset tonight if we walk away from this draft with Brock Bowers? I can't have that shit tonight. Come on, Oscar. I know you're always grouchy, but Brock Bowers changes the New York Jets offense. If they can get him, you will be very happy at the end of the night. Quarterback would be hilarious, which would probably be followed by the Aaron Rodgers trade request or retirement announcement or VP presidential announcement. So let's hope quarterback or defense is not the pick. No quarterback worth taking this high. I kind of agree. I like Penix, though. I think he's going to be good. Probably end of round 1, early round 2, though. What do we do when the Jets drafted? Stop. It's not happening this year. It is not happening this year. I do like Jared Verse, though. Again, I'm always biased towards FSU, but if you can get Jermaine Johnson and Verse together, FSU boys, that'd be pretty cool. But no, I do not want defense. How do they know he's staying at 10? We don't know anything yet. Very possible they trade back at this point. What's going on, sad New York guy? Hopefully you'll be happy after this 10th pick is in. Titans with about 5 minutes left on the clock at pick 7 right now. We got the Knicks up 58-55 at halftime. Good to hear that. With no second round pick, it was going to be an uphill battle to trade up. I kind of agreed with that. I thought the cost was going to be way too high. I think we all wanted it again if you're getting Harrison or Alt or somebody like that, but tough to do when you don't have a second round pick. We got Zach 6 of 6 on his mock draft. We got the chat right now owning a lot of the experts and their mock drafts. So well done for the chat. If you guys are actually serious, I haven't seen anybody's mocks, but you guys wouldn't lie in the chat, right? So Oscar the Grouch hates his life. You're going to cheer up after pick 10. I have a good feeling this year. I have a very good feeling about pick 10. Whatever they do, whether it's trading back or just making the pick, I feel like we're going to be happy tonight. Good vibes only. We're just going to end up with the lineman. That's a fire suit from Neighbors. Damn. That shit is fire. Titans pick at 7 is in. Jets about to work on trading down if they don't have anything worth giving to go up. Well, again, does anybody want to move up? Like, I think the fact that McCarthy's sliding down right now, that could be interesting. If you only want to trade back a few spots with the Vikings at 11 and then the Broncos and Raiders at 12 and 13, that right there is perfect. One of those teams wants to move up to 10, get their quarterback, give us a round 2 or a round 3. Like, I think that would be a home run. You trade back a little bit, maybe still get Bowers. A lot of tight end hate tonight. But again, remember, he's not just a tight end. He is your slot wide receiver on day 1. Him and Conklin will be out there together probably more than 50% of your snaps. So you get a little size, a little advantage in the run game. Mike Williams, he's also a good run blocker. Obviously, he's got to be healthy, but I love the idea of an elite tight end that can do all the different things that Bowers can do. Something this offense just hasn't had. Bowers is not getting taken before pick 10. That will not happen. But don't quote me on that. I hope Rome is not available at 10. Bowers or trade back. That's kind of what I'm hoping for too. I wouldn't be mad at O-line. I was saying before, it's probably the smarter pick. At some point during the season when somebody gets hurt, we'd be glad that we made that pick. But I think at least going into training camp, we'd feel a little better about the roster if we have a playmaker here. Why would Bowers be an epic disaster? Kid is going to be a stud. We can't look at this like, oh, so many previous tight ends in the first round have been bust. Like, he's not your traditional tight end. I think he's going to be just fine. From day 1, he will be just fine. For a QB and stock up. Wait, what is this? Let someone take our pick right in front of Minnesota for a quarterback and stock up on some picks. Very possible that could happen. Let's see if McCarthy continues to fall to us here, because that could create some offers. Bowers would be a horrible pick at 10. What? A lot of hate on Bowers. Like, why would it be such a bad pick? Like, so many people are okay with wide receiver. You're getting a wide receiver that could also block in Bowers. And again, he does different things that a traditional wide receiver is not going to do, like going over the middle of the field, blocking as your H-back. He can go in the slot. He can go on the outside. Red zone threat. You can use him so many different ways. I think Joe Douglas even said it, the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Knicks up 3 at halftime. Isles down 3-1. Ouch. No tight end. Not a lot of love for tight ends. Please don't take Bowers, Tennessee. I'm begging you. Well, the Titans pick is in. I don't think it would be Bowers here. But I have no idea what the Titans are doing here. Could they go with J.C. Latham if they were set on O-line? Possibly Fuaga. McCarthy at 10 makes someone want to jump up. Definitely could. Definitely could. But again, it depends how far you're moving back, right? Trade back, get Bowers or O-line. How far are you moving back? If you're still in the top 15, I think I'm okay with it. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting way too nervous. We should go safety. Legion of Boom 2.0. Please, no defense. Not today, not tomorrow. Day 3, you want to get defense? I'm good with it. Here comes the Titans pick. Titans select J.C. Latham. All right, so we got 2 O-linemen off the board and 2 receivers off the board with 2 picks to go from Atlanta and the Bears. This is getting interesting. Jets need to join the 21st century and utilize a tight end, an elite tight end. I agree with that. Seems like there's a lot of a lack of trust, I should say, for Hackett's ability to incorporate Bowers the right way, which seems to be, I guess, maybe getting some people off of Bowers. But to me, you still take the guy that has the most upside. I keep saying it, like he changes your offense so much more than I think than a Dunze or anybody else. Even an offensive lineman who is not going to start right away, who might not be a dominant player until year 2 or 3. Like, we don't have that much time to wait. Our window is 2 years. So this is going to be interesting. At this point, Bowers is the pick. I hope so, man. I'm going to go nuts if it's Bowers. I think the last time the Jets selected somebody that I really wanted was probably Garrett Wilson. And then before that, I couldn't even tell you. Oh, Tyson's on Jake shots? That's awesome. Hackett will say Bowers didn't learn the playbook. Homers will defend it. These are the problems. Titans go O-line. Is Adunze going to be there at 10, though? If you had the choice between Adunze and Bowers, which way are you going? Trav, good to see you, man. Hope all is well. I want to see a trade back, as unexciting as that is. I wouldn't even say it's unexciting. If you can get back into round 2, I mean, I think that opens the possibility of going O-line round 1 and then getting your playmaker round 2, or even Bowers round 1, wide receiver round 2, veteran depth on the O-line. Falcons pick is in. Are the Falcons going quarterback here? Is that what Schefter's saying? I did not retire. I'm still here. I have not gone anywhere. I just don't get invites on any streams anymore, but I am still here. So J.C. Latham moves all the way up to 7. I did not see that coming months ago. I thought Fashanu was definitely the second tackle going. Seems like the chat is more in favor of Adunze over Bowers. I take Adunze all day. Bowers all the way. Could the Falcons go quarterback here? I hope it's not a quarterback. That might ruin some of your trade back possibilities. Please be Dallas Turner. That Schefter report doesn't have me feeling good, though. And now they're showing McCarthy. Is McCarthy about to be a Falcon? I haven't told you what I had a few drinks before. Now I'm on Celsius energy drinks, trying to stay awake for this draft. Have not slept much this week. Very busy week. There's no way it would be Penix at 8, right? What am I supposed to do with my Zach Wilson jersey? Well, actually, DJ Reed was talking on Twitter about maybe moving back from number 4 to number 2. So if he goes back to the number 2, you just gotta get the nameplate corrected. Too early in the night to talk Mets. What's going on with the Met game? The Mets, like, this is probably the first time in my life the Mets have been like the last thing on my mind with all 4 sports teams. Rangers up 2-0, Knicks hopefully up 3-0 after tonight, and Jets draft. So a lot going on. Quarterback here is obtuse. I would say it's a cute Family Guy joke for those that haven't seen that episode, Shawshank. The Mets are off tonight. Shows you I have not been paying attention to baseball at all. Did Tyrod already claim number 2? I saw DJ Reed was talking about it. Oakland and the Yanks, the only baseball game on right now. All right, Falcons pick is in. Are they really going quarterback? Oh, I hope they don't go quarterback. Because then you're probably not trading back. All right, here comes Goodell. Here we go. And then the Jets will be 1 pick away. Falcons select. Wow. Penix at 8. Holy shit. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. Wow. Holy shit. I mean, I guess that's a positive. I mean, you still have McCarthy on the board now, unless the team's trying to move up to 9 with the Bears, who could probably trade that pick, unless the Bears go with the Dunze here. Wow. Falcons go with Penix at 8. Who had that? I think that just killed every mock draft. Very interesting. Big Penix energy, right? Penix power. Wow. I'm pretty sure every single mock got destroyed on that pick. Wow. I mean, Kirk Cousins is going to play for how many years, though? This is probably the right thing to do to develop a quarterback, right? Let him sit for a couple years. That's ideally what you want for your future quarterback. So there is no way you're 9 of 9 in your mock draft. I don't think anybody had that. That is nuts. And now the Bears pick is in. So the Jets are officially on the clock. I'm not ready for this tonight, guys. I've been feeling good most of the night, but this is gonna get nuts. Do we want to see the Jets move off the clock? Is the real question after this pick gets announced. Are we looking trade back? And then who do the Bears go with here? If you know the Bears pick, please do not spoil it. Once the Jets are probably 5 minutes left on the clock, I will close up the chat, or I'll at least block it on my end so I don't get any spoilers. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh. I can't believe there's been no trade so far. I cannot believe there's been no trade yet. Is this a Rodgers Love type deal for Atlanta? It could be. Very well could be. It's a smart way to develop a quarterback. Let him sit behind a veteran for a couple years. Too many young quarterbacks get destroyed by getting thrown in there too soon, as we clearly know. Stop it. We are not taking a quarterback. No, the Bears were at 9. So their pick is in. Yeah, this is wild right now. So what are the Bears doing? Is this going to be a Doomsday? I'm still shocked about Penix right now. I want Bowers still. I know a lot of people don't want him at 10. Depending how far you could potentially trade back, I wouldn't mind moving back a couple spots. Maybe playing with a little fire there, hoping you can still get him and a second-round pick. But if they took Bowers at 10, I wouldn't be pissed off. I know a lot of people think that's a reach for a tight end, but he's not your traditional tight end. He's a weapon, as a lot of people have said in the chat. He's a weapon and just need weapons. Bears pick. Here comes Goodell, and the Jets will be on the clock. Will this be a doomsday, or will they go defense? Bears select. A doomsday. All right, I'm happy. I didn't want a receiver round 1. I know a lot of people are probably pissed off. I did not want a receiver round 1. It's Bowers or O-line. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. It's going to be Bowers, isn't it? Cheer up. This is what we wanted. This is best case scenario. The Jets can get a good receiver on day 2. We will be fine. Stop it with Dallas Turner. That's not happening. Jets are on the clock with the old logo. Let's go. That looks beautiful on the screen. All right, I got to block the chat in a minute. I don't know if anybody's going to spoil some shit. Jets trade the pick to Minnesota. The Jets move 1 spot. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is fucking awesome. I don't even care what they got. You're moving 1 pick. Obviously, the Vikings moved up to prevent somebody else. Wait. Now it's showing the Vikings on the clock at 10 and 11. What's going on here? Did the Jets not get the 11th pick? Jets have to be 11, right? Why is Minnesota on the... It's showing Minnesota with 11 and 10 right now. Unless they just didn't update it. I'm going to go from being really happy to miserable if we're not on the clock at 11. What is going on here? What is going on here? I need to know the details of this trade. Did we get a second? Jets on the clock. Okay, so the Jets have 11 now. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Whatever they got is obviously... You know a player's going off the board here, obviously a quarterback that the Jets weren't going to take. So you're just moving back 1 slot. Probably saves you a little bit of cap space also. And you're still going to get the same player that you would have taken at 10. So whatever pick they got here is a bonus. So this is amazing, whatever it is. Does anybody have the official details on the trade? Did they only get a 5th? All right. It is what it is. Again, anything that you get here is a bonus. You're not missing out on any players. You didn't move back a couple spots. So 11, 129, and 157. Trade terms from Mad Genius. Vikings getting number 10 and 203. Jets get 11, 129, and 157. All right, so the Jets move up from round 6, and I assume 129. That's probably still round 4, right? or early round 5 and 157. All right. Again, you're not missing out on anybody by moving back one spot when you know the Vikings are taking a quarterback here. So I don't think there's really any downside. So yeah, 129 is a fourth rounder. So you get a fourth, a fifth. I'm good with it. Again, it's not anything serious. I know we all wanted to get back into round 2, but I'm good with this. I'm good with this. And again, you're saving cap space too. You're getting a guy at 11 instead of 10. Would have been the same player. Yeah, absolutely no downside. You know the team that you're trading to. You know who they're taking. You know they're going quarterback. That was obviously not an interest for the Jets. They will absolutely have a choice of Bowers or whoever their third offensive lineman is. You wonder if they could even move back again. I think you're probably playing with fire at that point, but Fashanu or Bowers is probably the direction I would go to. I think Fashanu is the best tackle in this as far as pass protection in this draft class. I am so friggin' nervous right now. For a second, I thought we maybe got back into the second round, but moving one spot, that was probably just wishful thinking. I agree. Jets can still get their player and extra ammunition to move around in the rest of the draft. No downside at all to this. Probably not the haul we were looking for. Again, moving back, but no downside at all moving one pick. Jets are not picking defense. Stop putting that stuff out there. Please, Jets, come through. Vikings pick is in. I'm so sick of this commercial with SGA. Ugh. Crazy how there's no defense players yet. I'm sure there's been no draft in the past that's gone this many players without anybody on defense, right? Very interesting. Trade back 3 times. I'm eating good. That'd be interesting. I'm scared. Come on, Jets. What's going on, Killer Cub? How you doing? Yeah, I hate that commercial. It just sounds like just nails on a chalkboard. Full top 10, no defense is nuts. Yeah, first one in history. Not surprised there. All right, can we get back to the draft? Let the Vikings make their pick. Yeah, someone's definitely getting some defensive steals at some point. How far would I trade back? I don't think I would go past 15 with the Colts. So at this point, you're probably not moving back anymore. Especially if a quarterback goes here, which is obviously going to happen with McCarthy, seems like. Trade back again a few spots, and the Jets will have enough collateral to get in round 2 without losing much. Even now, I still think they can get into round 2 as long as you're willing to give up something from next year's draft. So I think that makes sense when you're a win now team. You're trying to get the most help for this year. Can we just make this Vikings pick already? We all know what it is. Make the pick, Roger. Douglas is on 2 phones right now. Yeah, Saleh needs to stay out of this conversation right now about whoever this pick's going to be. Yeah, the Colts would definitely take Bowers. That's why I wouldn't move past 15. How y'all feel about that dumb win against the Patriots? I'm feeling okay because I wanted Bowers anyway, so he's still there. I'm good with it. Now, if you wanted Neighbors, you're probably a little upset tonight, or if you wanted a receiver, but I wanted Bowers, so I am not upset at all. We lost out on all the best receivers. Well, that's if you don't consider Bowers essentially a receiver. JD is an efficient trader, got good value. Again, just getting anything, moving back one spot, to me, that's a win. We have 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. So definitely some ammunition to move up. You could package 2 of those fourth round picks and maybe a second or a third next year. Definitely some ammunition to move up. Yeah, we'll get back into some streams at some point this year. I know he's enjoying doing some other content with some of the Jets content creators out there. Move back to 15 would be perfect. Still get a good O lineman. Let them take Bowers. I don't know if I would move back to 15 though, because if you're trading with the Colts, they're probably taking Bowers. This is nerve-wracking. All right, Vikings selection is in. Why are we still on the clock? Well, Vikings are about to make their pick, and then the Jets will be on the clock at 11. Again, please no spoilers, but I will be covering up the chat probably in about 2 minutes. With the 10th pick, Vikings select. And there's McCarthy. So here we go. Jets back on the clock. Could this be Bowers? And I will go friggin' ape shit if it is. Oh, man. Could the Jets trade back again? I don't think so. I do not think they're taking a quarterback here. Oh, Javi, that's awesome. Yeah, just a little bit. Michigan, Minnesota. Yeah. All right. Jets pick is in. All right, so I have to cover this chat up now. It's got to be Bowers, right? I would not be mad with an offensive lineman. I don't think it's going to be a receiver. You're not taking the fourth best receiver here. Even though I do like Brian Thomas, I don't think they're taking receiver here. I think this is going to be Bowers. And we are all going to love it. All right, let's get on with the McCarthy highlights and let's get to the Jets pick. Please be Bowers. This will make my night. Again, I wouldn't be mad with O-line. Fashanu is going to be a stud. Buaga, I think, will be good. I don't know how ready he is day one, though. Fatanu, if you want some versatility, okay. But the best team in 2024, that has Brock Bowers on the New York Jets. Oh, my God. I'm like almost shaking. What is taking so long? I feel like the pick's been in for about 5 minutes now. I'm probably the only person that doesn't know the pick. I'm sure everybody's looked on Twitter by now. This is killing me. Oh, my God. Come on, Roger. And immediately after the pick, I will post the link. So if you want to come on, give a quick reaction, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Not taking, 15-minute phone calls tonight, but quick reactions. We'll get to as many people as we can for half hour to an hour. Maybe catch the end of the Nick game, see how long everything takes. Oh, can we just make this pick already? God damn. I feel like this pick's been in for longer than most teams are on the clock. Like, what is the holdup here? What in the hell is taking so long? Broncos are on the clock with only 6.5 minutes left, and they still haven't announced the Jets pick yet. Like, let's go. All right, Bowers my first choice, Fashanu my second choice, Fuaga my third choice. Let it be Bowers. Please let it be Bowers. All right, here we go. It's only our future here. The New York Jets select. All right. All right. I'm not mad with Fashanu. I am not mad with it. That was my number 2 offensive lineman. To me, that is Debrick. You have your future left tackle. You have insurance for this year. You have your left tackle of the future. I'm okay with this. It's not the sexiest pick. I'm good with it, though. I'm good with it. I love this pick. If you're going offensive line, this is the direction I wanted them to go. I was hearing so much about Latham and Fuaga, Fashanu over the last couple weeks. This was the guy to get. You want your pass protector. You want to keep Aaron Rodgers upright. This was the direction to go in. Best feet, best pass protector, not even bad run blocking as well. I am totally fine with this. The only issue, I guess, is that, again, he's probably only a left tackle. Do you trust him providing depth at right tackle? He's not playing guard for you. So a little bit limited from that perspective if you wanted somebody else that can cover you inside, outside. But best tackle that you could get as far as pass protection. I am good with this. I am good with this. Protect Rodgers at all costs. Absolutely. Well, again, right now, yes, Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams is not enough. But if you can move up from round 3 into round 2 and go get your receiver there, and then you sign Tyler Boyd or somebody else, your receivers are fine. Build the wall. You start in the trenches. That's how you win. Protect your damn quarterback. I'm okay with it. Bowers would have been the sexy pick there. I think that's where my head was for so long, but this was the smart move. This was the smart move. O-line, most valuable position in football. Ridiculous to argue otherwise. I'm happy with it. All right, so if you want to give your draft reaction to the pick, I am posting the link now. I'll take calls, I don't know, for like a half hour or so. But I'm good with this. Can't go wrong with tackle. Good pick. I'm fine with it. You wonder if maybe he can even start, year 1. Is there anybody he could beat out? Could he beat out Moses at right tackle, or is he just your left tackle for the future? Group hug, guys. Let JD cook. Smart pick. I'm pleased with Fashanu. Absolutely a smart pick here. Receivers are a dime a dozen. Left tackle is much harder to get. Receiver you can absolutely get in round 3, or again, like I keep saying, even moving up into round 2. So many guys you can get in the middle of the draft. So, yeah, receiver is deep this year. I'm not concerned at all about not being able to fill that void at receiver. The Jets will be just fine. Yeah, Morgan Moses most likely will be starting. You wonder if Fashanu can play on the right side, though. Broncos pick is in. Did they just go quarterback? Really? Would they go Bo Nix? What a choice. I hated the Bowers combo. Listen, the team needs weapons. I thought he was, like Douglas said, the ultimate Swiss Army knife with all the things he could do. But you win in the trenches. We've obviously learned the hard way over the last number of years how important it is to have offensive line depth. And I think more importantly, when you have 2 33-year-old tackles that have injury history, like, this is the smart move. It's not the sexy pick, but for now, having that insurance and also for the future, because both these guys are under 1-year contracts, Moses and Smith. Now you have your starting left tackle for next year. So I don't see what there is not to like about this. Broncos obviously don't trust Zach Wilson. I don't think there's any surprise there. Is wide receiver deep enough that by our third, there are seriously good options to rely on as rookies? But again, you're not looking for a number one guy. You're looking for somebody that can have a role. So, of course, that depends on where Mike Williams is at entering training camp and beyond. And there's still free agents out there. Odell Beckham's still out there. Tyler Boyd, who I like in the slot. A bunch of guys that you could still sign. So I think you draft one, you sign one. Lazard could possibly have a role this year too. All right, so let's get to a couple calls here. We got Jordan waiting on the line right now. Let's bring Jordan on.
Yo, dude, let's fucking go. I am fucking hyped. We got more draft capital. Plus, we got probably the second best offensive lineman. I know that Latham went before. Latham, I think, is also going to be great. But, dude, I am fucking stoked about how this went. I'm sorry. I was the guy in chat. Not a Bowers fan. I like Conklin. I like what we have there, I think, I don't trust Smith. He's never been healthy for a full season. We need someone behind him. We need someone for the future. And Fashanu, he's gonna be the guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, you're probably right. I mean, of your starting 5 offensive linemen, the one that you probably trust the least to start a full 17 games is Tyron Smith. And this is your backup right now and for the future. So I will absolutely drink to that.
Dude, Joe Douglas did a great job tonight. More draft capital, offensive lineman for the future, someone behind Smith who we can trust. I am stoked. Rodgers, we're not going to repeat last year with that, bullshit offensive line. I still think we should do something in the center, get back McGovern, maybe. And then, our O-line's pretty solid after that. That's all we got to do. And with that money we got back from Zach Wilson, thank God he's off the fucking team. We can do that. So,
amen. So now what are you looking to do on day 2? Are you trying to move up in round 3? Are there any receivers that you have your eye on? What are you looking to do there?
I think I picked 72. I think there'll still be good receivers left. This draft is very deep at receiver. I think we'll be able to find a serviceable, number 3. So I'm just fucking stoked, dude. And dude, I miss your show. I was saying that earlier. I miss you and
I missed doing the live streams. We're definitely gonna get back into it soon. So
you guys gotta keep going back. I know I'm not a usual caller, but I just love your show. So
really appreciate that, man.
Try to get back to it. And tonight's been a good fucking night. So
hell yeah, man. Enjoy the rest of the draft. Appreciate you calling in, man. Be good.
All right.
Later. Wow, so the Broncos just went with Bo Nix. Wow. 12 picks and 6 quarterbacks. That is unbelievable. Yeah, we literally got, in my opinion, we got the second best tackle in this draft and a clear backup right away for Tyron Smith. I don't know how anybody could be upset with this. So anybody else wants to hop on and share their thoughts on the pick, feel free to do so. Link was posted in the chat. If not, I may head off in a little bit to watch the end of this Knicks game as well as the rest of the draft. I should be back on tomorrow night. I am going to be coaching for a little bit, but I should be home in time for the start of round 2. So at some point, I will probably go live tomorrow and then either Saturday or Sunday, bring some people on to recap the draft. Wow, 6 quarterbacks in the top 12 picks. That is nuts. Zach versus Bo, who will win? Good question there. I don't think Zach was ever in the running to really start anyway. I think the whole idea behind trading for him was that, all right, we're going to kind of take the Sam Darnold approach, try to let this kid – actually, Darnold started right away, which was clearly a mistake from Carolina, but I think the smart thing to do, if you want to give Zach a chance to recreate his career, you let him sit for a year. All right, so let's get back to a couple calls here. We got Draft Man. Yo.
Good pick.
Happy?
I approve.
You look happy.
I approve. We're back.
Let's go.
We're right back. I mean,
so
I was thinking all week about.
I assume you wanted O-line over pass catcher, right?
I wanted a wide receiver first, but after the Doomsday got picked, I was fine with that. I was fine with offensive linemen. I mean, I was ready to just go off on the Brock Bowers pick. I was so sure about it. I mean,
I thought so too.
but it's fine. We have our guy. He's a good pass blocker. Which is exactly what we need. Keep him upright.
Yep.
This is going to be good for not just this year, but also next year. That also gives us flexibility in the next year. We traded back a pick. We got some extra capital. Go back into the second round, maybe. Get some. Who are we going to get? We can get anyone. We can get Worthy. We can just get wide receiver. We're right back in it. We're good. We're set up. We're good. Yeah. I mean, I was just.
So you're looking to move up on day 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't see the point of keeping 3 4th-round picks. I think you got to get aggressive, especially for a playmaker. And then also at the same time, I know we've talked about this, but you could get a wide receiver throughout the season. It's not really there's going to be some disgruntled guy who's going to want to trade at the deadline.
Every 5 or 6 months there is. Yep.
There's always someone, but this is a good pick. It's exactly what we said. As long as I know I've always wanted Fashanu. There was always like my guy that I was kind of leaning towards, but I don't think I'm not going to say like I'm 100% expert. I haven't watched Penn State football since the legend Trace McSorley played. But I don't think that hopefully if Joe Douglas made the right pick here, then this is going to work out essentially. If he's a good player, if he's decent, then that's all that matters. As long as I don't know. I'm not making sense. It's fine. I'm excited.
I like that there wasn't a lot connecting the Jets to Fashanu also. A lot of the smoke was around Fuaga, Faltanu.
I
didn't hear a lot, at least, linking the Jets to Fashanu. So they kind of kept their cards down. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to now wait out the rest of the draft, see what happens. Maybe
he's not going to be another Becton. Stop putting that out there. This guy's in shape. He's not 360 pounds. Stop it.
Get Joe all that air. Did you see? Okay, completely unrelated. Some player, I think it was Joe Alt, gave Goodell a hug, and we haven't mentioned this yet, but Goodell got back surgery recently, and he was not happy.
Oh, shit, I didn't even notice that.
So watch that the rest of the draft. That's a little fun game. He was pissed. But yeah, good pick. I'm happy. Going to day 2. Hopefully we'll reorganize, move up, hopefully. And yeah, then, I mean, my ideal world, maybe quarterback at round 4 or 3.
Oh, no. Raiders just got Bowers.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. There hasn't... Okay, I'm not going to get into the Bowers right now. I'm going to let other people take the calls. We're fine. I'm moving on. We survived night 1.
I'm up for it to tomorrow. Glad we showed up the O-line.
We survived night 1. I'm going to get a Rodgers jersey once my season ticket points come back. We're good. We survived.
I never used my points. You could have mine if you want. I don't think I've ever used my points. They always just expire at the end of every year.
Yeah, that's usually because you got to be at the stadium, and then you're always there for like 2 games, and it starts raining. Whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Go Jets. We're good. We survived.
Glad talking to you, man. Gang. Enjoy the rest of the draft. All right, moving right along here. We got Bubs.
What's up?
Yo, Bubs. What's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while. How's it going?
How you been?
Doing pretty good. Plugging along.
Awesome, man. What are your thoughts on Fashanu at 11 and the trade back?
Yeah. Well, I like Trader Joe striking again. He always knew he had that. It felt like once a Dunze went at 9, you kind of knew that they were going to potentially move back. I thought they were in a good spot to move back with, the Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders, all 3 of them potentially looking at a quarterback, and all 3 of them going back to back to back. So they're all kind of fighting over it. Obviously you heard some of the reports of the Vikings maybe moving up with the Chargers. So you kind of knew that. Not too surprising there. I wanted a Dunze. It was a little bummed to see him go to the Bears, but I like the way they pivot. You could get your playmaker now in round 2, potentially use that other 4th you got from the Vikings to move up into round 2, get another top 100 pick and take a Ricky Pearsall, maybe a Keon Coleman. I doubt Ladd McConkey falls, but if he does fall past,
depends how far you can move up into round 2 also.
Yeah. But even like Ricky Pearsall, somebody like that, probably more of your middle round 2 guys. So, but yeah, I mean, Tyron Smith hasn't played a full season in almost a decade. So, he's going to miss some time. He'll probably play 13, 14 games, maybe at best. So you're going to need Fashanu, who's the best offensive lineman available. So, I prefer a playmaker, but you can never go wrong with beefing up the offensive line. It's better than an edge rusher. Definitely better than an edge rusher.
Where did you have Fashanu on your list of offensive linemen?
I had him number 2 behind Alt. Yep. I had all Fashanu, Fuaga, and I really like Fashanu from Washington, just because he can play guard and tackle. I really like that. And then even Fuaga was solid. Latham, I wasn't as high in Latham personally,
His
as I
size
guess
just concerns
Tennessee
me a little
was.
bit.
But what do you say?
His size just concerns me a little bit.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
PTSD from Becton.
yeah. I didn't love him, so if I was Tennessee, I would have took Fashanu there, but I really felt like at 11, Fashanu was definitely the best offense lineman available. So, but yeah, I mean, beef up the O-line. So
let's go on to day 2.
Yep. Who do you think they might take in day 2?
I'm looking to trade up just like you. Again, it depends. If you're talking about getting into the 40s, I think that's where McConkey, possibly Xavier Worthy could come into play. If you're in the 50s or 60s, I mean, you had Roman Wilson in for a visit. You had Malachi Corley, who I like a lot. He's a good yard after catch guy. So plenty of options. Xavier Leggett could be there. Devontae Walker.
Yeah.
So many receivers. So that's why I'm not mad that they missed out on a Dunze. You can solve this issue at receiver for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the class that if you would to wait on a receiver, this is the class to do it because it's so deep.
Yep.
You're going to have some of those stranglers that are going to drop into the second round that might not go late into the first year, which is it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the night pans out. I mean, I'm sure Buffalo will probably take a receiver, probably Kansas City might. So a couple guys will probably go off the board, but yeah.
All right. Good catching up with you, man.
So.
Football as well. How's the podcast going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, doing pretty good.
Awesome, man.
Yep. Hope to see you guys out at a couple games this year. Maybe camp
Definitely,
as well.
bro. I will be there. I will be there. Hopefully all year. See you, Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yep. Hopefully more than 4 snaps.
Please pray to God.
Yep.
All right. Be good, man. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the draft. All right.
Yep. You too. Have a good one.
All right. You too. So what is this that I'm seeing now about Brandon Ayuk to the Patriots? People are saying there's some rumors on Twitter. I hope that does not happen, but we will see. All right. Last call I will bring on, and then I will let you guys enjoy the rest of the draft. And I'm seeing the Knicks are down by 13 points or something? So that's not good. Javid.
Hey, PT, how you doing?
What's going on, man? How you been?
I've been good, just life, school.
How's college going?
It's good. It's good. Got a few exams coming up next week. Papers to do.
What year are you in now?
I'm a senior.
Nice. Ready to enter the real world soon, huh?
Unfortunately, but yeah, I'm excited.
I have no choice, yeah.
I definitely got no choice.
So what are your thoughts on the trade back and Fashanu at 11?
I think I mentioned earlier in the chat, but in terms of trading back, I didn't really have a problem with the line. I said I just wanted to hopefully get a second rounder or something. We ended up in the 4th and moving our 6th for a 5th basically. So I'm not displeased with that. I think the pick for Fashanu, I'm okay with it. I understand. You look at this draft and you're saying big needs. I understand that that's part of the receiver people where you're saying big needs is a second receiver because Mike Williams is on a 1-year deal and injury history. We probably won't pay him, so it's probably a 1-year deal, 1-year rental. And then you have the 2 linemen who are both on expiring deals, and so you have to address either long-term playmaker, which either you're going wide receiver or you're going Bowers, or you have to.
I know you do.
No, I never problem with Bowers. I actually wanted Bowers at that spot. I wanted the wide receivers over Bowers, but I did not at that point. I wanted Bowers for the pick.
Okay.
I wanted Bowers more than the lineman. I was kind of disappointed.
I kind of did too. I still feel like the offensive line was a smarter pick, like you said.
Yeah.
You got 2 33-year-old tackles, both on expiring contracts for now and for the future. I feel like it's just a smarter pick.
It's definitely not the sexy pick. But we're saying go all in. I get thinking maybe we should just go for the wide receiver and just hope the tight end and hope things just work out on the line. But I also understand making sure that your line is solidified so that next year we're not in a situation where it's we're trying to force alignment again. The only thing, like I said, on the trade back, I would have hoped we got a higher pick. I know you said because you have Williams, we have Garrett. You don't really need someone that you need to rely on, but. I mean, Williams.
I almost don't even view it as a trade back. They only moved 1 spot. You didn't run the risk of missing out on somebody because you knew who you were dealing with and you knew what they were going after in a quarterback, which you had no interest in. So it's almost like a free extra 4th and a 5th.
I think, but at that point, if you knew, because I don't know if you've seen Connor Hughes tweeted, but he tweeted that Bowers was never in play for the Jets that it was just all
Interesting.
a smoke screen the
Interesting.
whole time.
Okay.
If that is true, then they should have been fine falling to at least like trying to get and maybe the Broncos or the Raiders to trade up. Because as long as you don't go past the Saints, who would probably have
Yeah.
taken the lineman, I think we should have done that. But my one concern is that if we don't have like if we're not high enough to get a solid wide receiver, and say, I mean, fingers crossed, but Mike Williams goes, isn't back in time, or he may not be like the same or whatever. I don't want to see into the same position we were last year, where Garrett Wilson is just literally being blanketed and no one else is getting open, or you can't trust the other receivers. And that's why potentially, like I said, I wanted to trade back. It's fine. I would have hoped to get a second rounder because I want to get a better wide receiver prospect.
Well, that can still happen though. Like you were saying before, you have 3 4th-round picks, so you could deal your third, 1 or 2 fourths, and then even something from next year, and get back into the 40s or 50s and still get your wide out there.
And we'll hope. I hope it happens. We'll see. See Puaga goes to the Saints. But we hope.
Any receivers that you're really hoping for tomorrow?
I'd say probably not really. I was mostly focusing on like first round weapons. I know like I would just, if I name guys, we're just throwing out like the same guys you just talked to about with like Bubs and stuff. So I like McConkey. Worthy. I like Worthy too, but I think I just don't want to see us. Yeah, I just don't want to see us just miss out on all these guys because we're sitting back. And I agree. To the point that was made about wide receivers, come open like during the year, you might be able to trade for someone. I don't think like pinning your hopes on potentially like having someone get disgruntled and trading for them is like, that's not a plan to me, And too often the last few seasons we've gone into things without having a plan.
That's fair.
Quarterback, line, like that was literally the whole problem last season. The line didn't have.
There are still a number of free agents that are still out there you can bring in. I know they're pretty tight against the cap, but there's always ways to create some extra space. So I'm surprised that Boyd hasn't signed yet. You got Beckham still out there, who was linked to the Jets last year. So a lot of different avenues you can go in. You can pair your 2nd or 3rd round pick if you can get into the 2nd round with another veteran. Having that kind of depth with Lazard and Gibson and Brownlee, like it's not a bad receiver room at all.
Oh, it's definitely not. I just want to make sure that we actually do something to address it, because I don't think only adding Mike Williams is good enough at this point, unless you have like one of your dudes like Gibson or Brownlee make a big jump or something. I don't have a problem with the pick. Just to be clear, I like Olu. I like the lineman like options. I just hoped we could have moved further back or at least gotten more to do it. That's all.
That's fair. All right, good talking with you, man. Enjoy the rest of the draft. Have a good night.
Yep, you too.
All right, be good. Yeah, O-line was the biggest issue season after season. I think it was a wise decision. Seems like the chat is generally for this pick. 14 picks in, still no defense yet, which is pretty wild. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Appreciate everybody that joined us tonight. If the Jets somehow trade back up into the 1st round, I'll hop back on the live stream. Otherwise, depending on when I get home tomorrow night, I will try to do something for round 2 and round 3. And then Saturday, I may be home, but if not, we can set up a draft recap either after the draft is complete on Saturday or possibly sometime Sunday. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the draft. Hopefully the Knicks make a little comeback here. If not, though, I'll talk to you guys soon. Be good.